Hey, what are you doing on my car? Leave. Get off. I can see you're not motivated. Have a nice nap. This is a 2015 Ford Mustang. In this case, the one with the EcoBoost engine, which we'll be talking about later. But first, we're going to take a look at the styling. I think this is a real sharp-looking car. You won't be mistaking this for a non-Mustang from the rear. And a sharp-looking aerodynamic front end. We did have some concerns about these headlights. They seemed kind of small, and I wasn't expecting much performance. But we took it out last night and were pleasantly surprised, so we'll roll that tape right now. Before we do our daytime testing, we're going to take this out tonight and see how these headlights perform. Look pretty bright. Well, we'll see. These are the low beams at a distance of 100 feet. Very bright, if low. High beams, wow, really blast out there. No problem here. These are the high beams from a distance at 300 feet. As you can see, the bulbs illuminate the entire structure. Actually, this is one of the best performing high beam lights I've used in a long time. Very impressive. Now we will switch to the low beam, and it does reach out to 300 feet, very impressive. No problem on the street and great for back roads. Overall, the Mustang headlights are superb. Some of the best I've ever used on a vehicle, so no complaints here. Here's a nice catch. When you open the door, a Mustang emblem shoots out from the door. Interesting. Let's try that again. Oop. These headlights perform great on these backcountry roads. And with all the mountain lions and cattle roaming around, it's very comforting to have all this light going down the trail. It makes me feel a lot safer. Oh, good, another skunk. Terrific. Terrific. I just scared the piss out of a skunk, and guess what he just did to the car? Whew. I think we better pull over and air this car out for a while. That skunk really blasted the vehicle. See, it even killed the headlights. And it gets even better. Not only we have the skunks, but it seems I've stopped in front of a bat cave with hundreds of bats flying over my head. Terrific. Not only will I end up smelling like a skunk, I'll end up being a vampire with rabies. Don't get me wrong, I like bats, but I'm not too happy when they start liking me. Oops. Had one just bounce off my head. Too close for comfort. Oh, that was close. Oh, great. How'd this bat get in here? Shoo! 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 Go on, get out of here. Shoot, get out. Fly away. Go. Get. Okay, now that we've established that we've got great headlights, let's see if we have a great engine under the hood. We're not going to talk about the V8 options. Instead, we're going to review the base 6-cylinder and how it compares to the optional Ford EcoBoost Turbo. And it's very important you know the difference between these two engines, because it also makes a difference into whether you're going to enjoy the car or be sorry you purchased the car. The base power plant is a 3.7 liter V6 putting out 300 horsepower, 200 foot-pounds of torque, rated at 19 to 28 miles per gallon. Optional is this tiny 2.3 liter EcoBoost. Has a slight horsepower increase at 310 horsepower, a slight torque increase at 320 foot-pounds, and rated at 22 to 31 miles per gallon. So on paper, the EcoBoost is more powerful, slightly faster, and gets better gas mileage. So what's not to like? Well, in the real world, we're starting to find out that yes, this EcoBoost is slightly faster, but not by much. And number two, it might get better gas mileage, but again, not by much. I must point out that the small EcoBoost Turbo requires premium fuel, while the base V6 requires standard unleaded regular. So even if you're getting a 10 to 15% increase in fuel economy, you're spending 10 to 15% more on gas, so it kind of all evens out. As far as my fuel consumption figures go, I haven't driven this much. I can tell you I did get a very low 14 mpg in the city in very heavy traffic, but then again I got 29.5 on an expressway trip doing 65 miles per hour. We're going to be racking up a lot more miles as we go along and see what other figures we're getting. Now we'll take a look at the interior. Typical of the Mustangs that we've seen before. First, if you're planning on putting real people on these two rear seats, they better not have legs, or they're going to have an issue. We get an easy to read gauge cluster. A glove box that is ridiculously small. You won't be able to put anything in here unless you take the owner's books out. A small console for storage. I remember the days when the Mustangs had 3 simple knobs for the climate control, which worked just fine. Why they had to go to this rinky-dink up and down system is beyond me, but it's still easy to use, so I guess that's all that counts. The entertainment and navigation system has a big learning curve, but once you figure it out, you'll probably be okay. I'm not sure if this is real chrome or fake chrome, but sitting in the sun, it burns your hand like real chrome. I still have an imprint on my hand. Not a good idea if you live in a place where the sun shines a lot. Seriously, the only real complaint I had to do with the rocker panels under the door. Way too wide here. Way too wide. Every time you step out, your pants are going to rub on this panel and this panel, getting dirt on you. And see this? Nothing but a dirt shelf. There's really no reason for this. And basically it kind of sucks. Especially if you're wearing white pants. So let's take a peek under the hood. And not too much room back here, but that's why they call them pony cars. Now here's something you need to check on. No spare tire, just an air pump. Folks, if you're going out of town, you have to have a spare tire, period. Even if you have run flats. This will not do. If you're too cheap to buy a spare tire, then you better fork up a better air pump and more stop leak. There's nothing worse than being stranded on the side of a road, especially on a 3-day holiday weekend. So the question of the day is, if the EcoBoost performance is so close to the V6, why get it at all? Very simple. Because if you don't get the EcoBoost, Ford won't sell you the performance options, like the rear axle package, bigger wheels, bigger tires, and the like. If you want the performance options, you will only get it if you order the EcoBoost engine. So you see, Ford made the decision for you. So if you're just looking to roll, the V6 will do fine, but if you want to roll in a hurry and get the performance the Mustang provides, this little 2.3 twin turbo is going to be your pick. Now we're going to take it out for some test driving, and I was glad to see that Ford provided a turbo boost gauge so we know what's going on under the hood. Not the most vicious sounding exhaust system I've used. Now, Ford claims to have engineered a lot of sound effects with this EcoBoost engine, but I'm not sure what they were thinking. It sounds like a UPS truck climbing a steep grade. There you go. Even though the engine sounds kind of funny, I'm really impressed with the pulling power. I got it in 6th gear at 30 miles per hour. I'm only pulling 1,000 RPM and I'm not stalling. That's incredible. I'm still at 1,000 RPM, 35 miles per hour in 6th gear. I'm hitting the gas and I'm accelerating and again not stalling. That's a lot of pulling power. Ford provided me with the 6-speed manual car, but this engine has so much low-end torque, I suspect it will perform just as good with the automatic transmission. Actually, I think maybe better. Either transmission will be fine. As I stated earlier, the advantage of ordering the EcoBoost engine is you can also order the performance package for around $2,000. It includes stiffer springs, stabilizer bars, bigger brakes, larger wheels and tires. And you can't order this with the V6. These are the monster-sized brakes we get with the performance package, which explains why the car stops so well. And the bigger wheels and tires too. Another option you should consider are these Recaro seats. Leather seats, by the way. They're far better than those horrible base seats that come in the standard Mustang with those headrests that push your chin into your chest. They're not cheap, $1,600, but if you're going to live with the car for the next 3 or 4 years, they're definitely worth it. Another performance advantage on the Mustang is this mode button. This button gives you normal, sport, track mode, and snow mode. Your choice. As expected, when you order the sport package, you do get a stiffer ride, mainly because of the bigger tires, as you heard when we went over the railroad tracks. But nothing to be concerned about. With the tire pressure set at 32 pounds all around, and the vehicle set in the sport mode, which we'll talk about later, this vehicle really hugs the road. Now, those ordering the performance package might be asking themselves, what is the best 0 to 60 time on this combination? Now, some publications said that the EcoBoost engine with the automatic transmission was faster, doing around 5.2 seconds at 0 to 60, while the manual was slower at 5.6. Some other publications said they were both equal, around 0 to 60, 5.5 seconds. As for me, I did 6 runs on this. I never broke the 0 to 60 in less than 6 seconds. That's just me and this particular vehicle. Now, for some people, this could be part of the problem because you have to use premium fuel on the EcoBoost engine for any performance, but there's no sticker on the gas cap telling you that. So a lot of people might be using standard unleaded. In my case, I filled up the second tank with super premium and tossed in some octane booster. Didn't make any difference. Still about 0 to 60 in approximately 6 seconds. All of my times are recorded with a stopwatch. The Mustang does have a computer which tells you your quarter mile at 0 to 60 times. Unfortunately, mine was malfunctioning. Either didn't record anything or gave me a 0 to 60 time of 9.2 seconds, which was obviously incorrect. A footnote on body colors: if you live in a hot climate where there's lots of sun, some colors work, some colors don't. Dark colors don't, light colors do. To show you this, I've got my laser thermometer. It's 110 degrees outside. We're going to take the temperature off this white Mustang and then the temperature off some darker colors and show the difference. The white Mustang, 121 degrees. Now we go from the Mustang to this black Toyota Tacoma. 170 degrees. Yeah, I'd say that's a difference. About as clear as black and white. Fuel consumption figures for all you EcoBoost lovers. We just did a trip at 38.6 miles, averaging 70 to 75 miles per hour, 31.0 mpg. Trip 2, 244.9 miles. This is everything. City driving, freeway driving, mixed commuting, 18.7 overall. This includes the freeway trip, but it also includes some heavy city driving, very heavy city driving, where we got 14.5 mpg for a 50-mile city trip. But 18.7 overall isn't too bad. We weren't babying it, and we weren't light on the throttle. Two schools of thought on the 0 to 60 time. I think 6 seconds is more realistic considering the weight and horsepower involved here. The 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds are reading in some of these publications. I'm not sure I believe that. I think there was some tinkering going on there. Also keep in mind, even though this only had 4,400 miles on the clock, this is a factory test car that's been raced, trashed, and thrashed, and had a very hard life. Usually around 10,000 miles they're taken out of service and they go away to car heaven. So naturally we can expect a slight loss in performance. But considering the miles and abuse this vehicle's had, it's holding up quite well. No rattles, any other problems like that. In the past decade, Ford has spent a lot of money on research and development on the Mustang platform. It's paid off. This car is built very well. Here's my take on the Mustang. 3 points. Number one, of all the Mustangs ever made, this last generation is the best series, period. All you guys want to go to auctions and bid on those old 1966 fastbacks and the 71 429 Cobra Jets, knock yourself out. But this is a better design and a better car. End of discussion. Number two, whether this EcoBoost engine offers a big advantage in performance over the V6 is a bit of controversy. Maybe, maybe not. But the bottom line is, I don't think I could own a Mustang without the optional performance package. And if you want the optional performance package, you have to order the EcoBoost engine. Case closed. So if I ordered a Mustang, I guess I'd be an EcoBoost customer. And last but not least, if you like shifting for yourself, the 6-speed manual transmission is lots of fun. But twin turbo engines work better with automatics, and you'll get more performance with the automatic shifter. But either tranny is a good choice. It's a matter of personal preference. If you're a fan of the EcoBoost engines, we just got done testing the new Ford F-150 with the little tiny 2.7 Ford EcoBoost engine. A very strong, impressive power plant. If you want to see that test, click on the link here.